The night had already wrapped Los Angeles in a soft glow of city lights when Rihanna, known to millions as RiRi, sat quietly by the window of her living room. The world outside buzzed with its usual chaos, but inside, there was a rare stillness. A stillness that mirrored the emotional storm she had been carrying for weeks. Lately, things hadn't been easy. Between her demanding empire, Fenty Beauty thriving globally, and the constant public scrutiny surrounding her relationship with A$AP Rocky, RiRi had been holding it together, but barely. Every headline, every rumor, every dissected glance between her and Rocky had chipped away at her peace. And tonight, she felt it more than ever. She hadn't told anyone, not even Rocky, just how overwhelmed she had been feeling. Not because she didn't trust him, but because she didn't want to add more weight to his shoulders. He had his own battles. His own pressures. And RiRi? She had always been strong. Or at least, she had always appeared that way. But strength has its limits. As she leaned her head against the cool glass, her phone buzzed softly on the table behind her. She ignored it at first. Probably another notification. Another headline. Another demand. But then it buzzed again. And again. With a sigh, she turned, slowly picking it up. Her eyes narrowed slightly as she saw the name flash across the screen. Rocky. She hesitated. Their last conversation had been distant. Not cold, not hostile, but not the warm, effortless connection they were known for either. Something had been off. Unspoken words hanging in the air like a storm waiting to break. She finally answered. Hey, her voice was soft, guarded. But instead of his usual smooth tone, there was something different on the other end. Hey. I need you to come outside. Her brows furrowed. Outside? Rocky, it's late. What are you? Just trust me, he cut in gently. Please. There was something in his voice. Something sincere. Something vulnerable. And without fully understanding why, RiRi found herself slipping on her shoes, her heart beginning to beat just a little faster. As she stepped outside, the cool night air brushed against her skin. The street was quieter than usual, dimly lit by streetlights that flickered softly in the distance. At first, she didn't see anything. Then, her breath caught. Parked just across from her driveway was a small setup. Nothing extravagant. Nothing over the top. But somehow, it felt bigger than any grand gesture she had ever witnessed. A simple arrangement of candles, dozens of them, lined the pavement, forming a glowing path. Soft music played faintly in the background. And at the center of it all, there he was. A$AP Rocky stood there, hands tucked nervously into his pockets. No entourage. No cameras. No spotlight. Just him. Just them. Rocky, she whispered, her voice already trembling. He stepped forward slowly, his eyes locked on hers, not with the usual confidence the world saw, but with something deeper. Real. I know things haven't felt right lately, he began, his voice steady but emotional. And I hate that. I hate that you've been carrying things alone, when I'm supposed to be the one right there with you. RiRi felt her chest tighten. I see. You, he continued. Even when you don't say anything. I see when you're tired. When you're overwhelmed. When you're trying to be strong for everybody else. Her eyes began to glisten. And I didn't want to talk about it this time, he said softly. I wanted to show you. He gestured gently behind him. That's when she noticed it. A small outdoor screen flickered to life. And suddenly, moments began to play. Clips of them laughing. Dancing in the kitchen. Stolen kisses. Quiet car rides. Late-night talks. The raw, unfiltered pieces of their love that the world never got to see. RiRi's hand flew to her mouth. Tears. Real, unstoppable tears. You've given so much of yourself to everyone, Rocky said, his voice breaking slightly. To your fans. Your family. Your work. But tonight. I just wanted to give something back to you. By now, tears streamed freely down her face. She shook her head slightly, overwhelmed, stepping closer to him. You did all this, for me, she whispered. For us, he corrected gently. And that was it. The wall she had been holding up for so long, collapsed. RiRi broke down completely, her body trembling as she closed the distance between them, wrapping her arms tightly around him. I didn't know how much I needed this, she cried softly against his chest. Rocky held her just as tightly, one hand cradling the back of her head. You don't have to carry everything alone, he murmured. Not with me. For a long moment, they just stood there, wrapped in each other, surrounded by candlelight, music, and memories. No cameras. No expectations. No pressure. Just love. Later. That night, as they sat side by side watching the final clips fade from the screen, RiRi rested her head gently on his shoulder. I thought I had to be strong all the time, she admitted quietly. Rocky smiled softly. You are strong. But even the strongest people deserve a moment to fall apart, and be held. She looked up at him, eyes still shimmering, but this time, there was something different behind them. Peace. Thank you, she whispered. He kissed her forehead gently. Always. And in that quiet, candlelit moment, RiRi realized something powerful. Love wasn't just about the big public moments. It was about being seen. Being understood. And being reminded, when you needed it most, that you were never alone. Because sometimes, the most heartwarming gestures aren't the loudest ones. They're the ones that reach you exactly where you've been silently hurting. And that night, Rihanna felt every bit of it. The penthouse was unusually quiet that evening, too quiet for someone like Rihanna, whose life was usually wrapped in sound, movement, and energy. The city lights shimmered through the glass walls, reflecting off polished floors, but inside, something felt heavy. She sat curled up on the couch, phone in hand, scrolling, but not really seeing anything. Her mind was elsewhere. It had been a long few weeks. Between relentless headlines, rumors twisting her words, and the constant pressure of being RiRi to the world, she was exhausted. Not physically, but emotionally. The kind of tired that doesn't go away with sleep. And for once, she didn't want to be strong.